We are $34 trillion in debt. We're having to borrow money just to make our interest payments. China owns some of that debt. And I've always spoken in hard truths, and I'm going to do that with you today. I would love to say that Biden did that to us. But our Republicans did that to us too. You go back and look at that $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus bill that passed with no accountability. It expanded welfare that's now left us with 80 million Americans on Medicaid, 42 million Americans on food stamps. That's a third of our country. And did Republicans try and make it right? No. They opened up pet projects and earmarks for the first time in 10 years, pushing through 7,000 of them last year. Want to know how they spent your money? $30 million on an honors college in Vermont, $10 million to tear down a hotel in Alaska, $7.5 million on a courthouse in Colorado, and the list goes on. In the 2024 appropriations budget, Republicans put in $7.4 billion worth of pet projects. Democrats put in $2.8 billion. Now you tell me who the big spenders are. All while 1 in 6 American families can't afford their utility bill, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, 50% of American families can't afford diapers. Something's got to give. Congress has one job, and that's to make sure they give a budget out on time. Do you know Congress has only given us a budget on time 4 times in 40 years? 4 times in 40 years. You know what I say about that? You don't get us a budget on time, you don't get paid, period. It's also why I think you need an accountant in the White House for once. I think it would make a difference. So how do we deal with the spending? The first thing we need to do is claw back the $100 billion of unspent COVID dollars that are still sitting out there. Instead of 87,000 IRS agents going after middle America, let's go after the hundreds of billions of dollars of COVID fraud. 1 out of every $7 was spent fraudulently. If 8% of our budget is interest, quit borrowing. Cut up the credit cards. You have to balance a budget every day. I had to balance a budget as governor. Why is Congress the only group that refuses to balance a budget? We'll stop the spending, we'll stop the borrowing, we'll eliminate the pet projects and earmarks, and I will veto any spending bill that doesn't take us back to pre-COVID levels. That will save us trillions. The next thing we'll do is we'll take as many federal programs as we can and send them down to the state level. That will dramatically reduce the size of the federal government. And it will empower people on the ground. Think education, think healthcare, think welfare, think mental health. If we cut the strings and sent that down to the states, what that could do. Right now, 70% of federal employees are still working from home 3 years after COVID. But combine that with the fact that 75% of most of our agencies are sitting empty. We're paying for that. It doesn't make sense. We've got to start bringing some normalcy back to things. Then you look at the fact that we're watching the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. We need to open up the middle class. That's why I want to eliminate the federal gas and diesel tax in this country. We want to cut taxes on the middle class and simplify the brackets. And we want to make the small business tax cuts permanent. They made them temporary. We need to make them permanent. Small businesses are the heartbeat of our economy. We need to start acting like it.